Hey, welcome to A Pair of Thoughts. I'm your host, Slim.
And I'm your host, Relay.
And thanks for tuning in with us today. We have been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back today with a great topic, and it's adult children. And so because that's the topic, we also have a guest, which is my oldest daughter, Devin, who will be help answering some questions so we can kind of get, a radar on their thought process on how we are as parents to adult children. It's much different this time around.
Yes.
Hi.
We both have adult children, so we both can relate to this topic as well as many others.
So we wanted to ask you, like, what your expectations are from us as adult parents.
Okay. I hope you like my answers. Otherwise, we'll get paid this month, so we're gonna go there.
So one thing, when not to help financially. Tamara, when do you think we're supposed to stop helping them financially?
When they have a good job or a decent job, a couple of times. So one is once they've gotten a job, give them a couple of months to get caught up, and now it's time to take care of your own bills. We should not be taking care of their bills if they're actually working and making good money. That should not be our responsibility. Their money is not to play with. Their money is to be responsible to take care of what they need to take care of. It's not our job to allow you funds to play with while we pay your bills and then you go to work. And I think the other is if we've continued to help, continue to open the door for opportunities, continue to, at some point, they become dependent upon us and they don't have the drive to really do much. So we got to pull the rug from underneath them.
So when do you think we should stop helping financially?
I agree with her. That's nice. But also, if you have grandchildren, you can also help.
Right.
And so you think that it's okay to help you guys with your grandkids?
Yeah.
But it should be something we want to do, not have to do.
All we want to help with is our phone bill. Like, I don't even know how to start a phone contracts. Like, how do you remember to do that month? Like, how do you go about that? It's better the more people on the plan. So why would you make me go out and get a plan if there's only me? I mean, if you got 6 people.
You go to the store, you tell them
I understand that, but the more people, the better discount you get. So why would you?
No, I think the more people, the bigger your bill gets.
At that point, you're kind of screwing yourself if you take me off because you know you already got a contract. So it's like, might as well keep me on.
So how old do you think you should be before I take off my phone?
Never. You should just decease and I'll take over at that point. I'm just being honest.
Nah.
I mean, that's the next.
So their expectations is that cell phone support is continuous and forever until I am cremated and put into a small jar.
Yeah, and then I'll take over and I'll be, then at that point we'll get moving. Now I have my kid and my grandchild at that point.
So what happens when your son gets 16 and needs a cell phone?
That's his daddy. He ain't got 2 people in his family. He's fine. I'm just being honest.
So here's another question. How often do you think a parent should check in with you? Do you think
it depends?
Like, do you think we're smothers?
Oh, that's an understatement. You guys are definitely smothers.
So why do you have smothers built in your phone as a contact? What do you when you say smother? Like, what do you mean?
Mine says Slim Shady and there's a little fire alarm. My son thought my mother was a police officer for how long? Don't even know until like 6 months ago because her helicopter name and the police officer siren is on her contact. So when she calls, the police siren goes off. So he was convinced Grammy was a police officer for so long.
But why do you have
an alarm on there?
Because if I don't answer you, how old am I? Then you'll call 6 more times, or you'll call the next person who's usually with me, and then
because the world is such a crazy place, we just want to make sure.
And I could just be taking a nap. I could take a nap, and my mom thinks I'm literally about to go an episode of ID. Like I can't.
I believe it because she's picking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Why did you answer me? I was sorry. I went to shower. No, I just went and sneezed. So I could take a break for 2 seconds. Yeah.
So what is the a perfect amount of time?
I think our generation handicaps our kids today, because I think we're too hands on, and I think we're too willing to be there to support. Where we are a lot more independent and hardworking and have work ethic and can do things on our own. They're more dependent on us because we have overprotected them and we don't want them to struggle or suffer, so we overcompensate.
Technology makes it harder too. I mean, it makes it like easier.
In what way?
It makes it easier to helicopter and like smother us because you have access all day. Back in the day, you guys, if you didn't answer your pager,
you had to trust. Yeah, you had to trust.
So now I think because you have that access, then you have that accessibility to be in our lives more and hands on. so it makes it easier to have access to these things. But I think back in the day, your mom, like, if you answer a pager and I can't get your phone, you'll eventually get there.
Well, you know what?
2 days later, then you're okay. But at the time, like now, it's like if you don't answer, like you can reach me on Instagram, you can reach me on Facebook, you can reach me on the phone, you can reach me anyways, So
but you make a good sense with technology, because think about this too. Before, when kids would be away from you and they needed money, you have to go Western Union or
now you Cash App.
MoneyGram. Now Cash App, Zelle. I mean,
MoneyGram was a big thing back then.
Literally, you can send money as easy as you can send a text message now. So it's like
yeah. So it's so much more convenient. But
and
I also think
go
that
extra mile before, because you have to go all the way to a certain store that allowed those accessibilities for you to get that money. Now it's like, what you mean you can't send me money on my phone? It's 2 seconds.
So what's a reasonable time? What's a reasonable amount of time to check in? I think in a day with you.
Each child. Well, I think check in with me. I call you just as much as you call me now.
Yeah. So like calling in the morning.
Don't call me till I wake up. How about that? Because if you call me before it, you be interrupting my alarm.
Somebody is laughing in the background, and I can't.
Because he feels the same way. We raised on the same.
Jackson, you think I call too much?
No. Oh, thank you. He thinks the same way you do. He said the opposite of it. I think honestly, that depends on like so like me, I have a job, I have my own place now, and I'm okay. And she's still wants to read my mail when it comes to her house. No, why are you reading my mail when it comes to your house? And
why are you reading her mail?
No, the other day I told her don't open it, and she's like, why? It says urgent. And I said, okay, then I'll urgently open it when it gets to my household. Like,
why did you open her mail?
She wanted to. It was like pulling teeth.
I mean, it comes to my house. I just was wondering what it was. Why did it say urgent?
No, you're nosy and you're a smother. Why would you read her mail? That's private.
Because sometimes they don't ask for help when they need it, so I try to get ahead of issues.
But no.
Okay, so is urgent? Is it that
their generation? It was my new debit card, and she was worrying about why is she gonna open it. I literally just pulled her teeth. I was like, I'm just gonna make sure she can open it. She kept saying why. She called me 4 times, and I said, well, I'll open it.
No, I think you're not the problem. I think your mother is.
I think so too.
Anyway. Okay, so you don't mind how often I call, just wait till you call me in the morning.
Yeah.
But what if something happened between midnight and 8 a.m.?
What would have happened?
Easy.
To you or me? Because it's different. You wouldn't know because I answer even if something did happen. So if something did happen, I wouldn't have answered her anyways.
All right.
So if I don't answer you by noon, then I would be like, okay, let me call up.
Okay, so here's a question for Tamara. So family vacations, family trips. Who do you think Relay should pay for the vacation? Let Relay answer.
If we're asking them to go on a trip with us and they don't have the funds to go, then we pay. But if it is a trip that they're going on and they want us to join, then I think we pay. Everybody pays their own way. So it just depends on the situation.
I'm gonna relay on that one.
So if you invited me on a trip,
and like I did for Jackson's birthday, did I not?
Oh yeah, you did really cover all the.
So Jackson, who should pay for the trips, Grammy or your mom?
My mom.
But if Grammy invites us on a trip, who should pay?
Grammy.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So same.
But we found this thing.
We want to go to Atlantis. Who wants to go to Atlantis?
It makes planes cheaper.
Oh, the cheapcaribbean.com, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. How does he know this?
Because we planned a trip today to Tulum. And he wants Grammy to take him to Atlantis. That's why. Yeah.
So another thing, holiday gifts. Should there be a financial limit on holiday gifts? They're not young anymore. Before, we used to try to give them everything to make it look like Santa just basically pooped in the house. As adults, do you think that you should be making the same effort and get them everything on their
wish list? Oh, no. I say you give them a little cash to help them, and you give them a limit. When they start having kids, yes, I agree, it becomes about the kids.
I think that once you have a child, like I did and gave you guys the beautiful gift of life, then that gift should be spent on him and not on me, because then that's a gift to me in its own.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So nobody else can have children because Jackson's, I got it in the bag, so we're good.
Would you want dating advice from your mom?
Unless I call you, no.
What if I see red flags that you don't see?
You can see red flags.
How are you going to give dating advice to anyone?
Exactly. But like red flags are, wait, does anybody ever listen to people saying the red flags, or do they just learn them on their own? Yeah.
any experience that I had in the past that I regret or wish I could do over, I try to share that experience with my son or my daughter so that they don't make the same mistake. Now they may turn around and do the same thing, but I try to, at least if I see
Hmm.
like them stumbling about to come across something that may ruin their lives or make a decision that might not be good for them, then yeah, I'll give them sound advice.
That's a good advice. Yeah. And I also have to advise us that you guys may give us advice, but also we're hard headed, all four of us. So we're gonna do what we want, but we'll at the back of our head we listen to that.
Yeah.
We're just also gonna learn our own way. But I agree, you guys should do that. I like it.
Yeah. Now that you're
Do
a
it. I
mother,
may not.
though, what if
I may not put the halt on it the same way you guys want me to, but I will. Eventually, the brakes are slow it down.
yeah,
Now, what about do you?
But every relationship's different too. I have to say that because
it is.
I think
It
that
is
some
different.
people go through. No matter how many other people you date, you don't go through the same thing as them.
Do you think I'm judgmental?
Yes and yes. Check and
It-
check.
I think you're over. I think you're a lot, but it's different because she's judgmental. Now I've learned depending on the person you're dating. So if she thinks it's gonna be okay, then she stands back a little more, and it's
Yeah.
but also if you don't give her enough insight to what's going on, then she will be dramatic and be extra. She pushes
Yes.
more when she doesn't know what's going on, even if like you're doing fine. Like then she wants to know.
Yeah.
If you just let her know what's going on a little bit, then she's like chill. But
Yeah.
if you give her a little, then she's fine. If you don't give her any, then she goes miles. So it goes back and
Yeah. Because she's a little cuckoo for
Yeah.
Cocoa Puffs.
How was it having twin mom and aunt?
It's nice because you guys are opposite, but you're the same at the same time. But it also sucks because if you're upset, then you hype her up, and then she'll be upset for you, and you're like, you don't even. She told you something. You need to learn the opposite side of the story. You can't-
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like,
She automatically protects me. You're saying?
yeah,
Oh.
automatically.
And
So she'll like get it, but she's like also like, I have to protect my sister.
Oh,
So it's
I
different.
didn't know that.
So it's like she's on your side, but she also is like, but you have to be nice to your mom. And you're like, but your sister's tripping sometimes. It's like,
How
That's
is
nice.
it being the oldest of all the kids?
It's fun. It's just hard sometimes. I don't know.
Is
Because
it?
they expect a lot from you, but you're like, cool, come on. Let me chill. I'm like, come on. I don't know. It's nice though. I don't know. The older I get, it's weird because like before, like now they're older, so it's weird.
What's changed though? So has anything changed with you having a kid for how you see your mom? The respect that you
Yeah.
have for your mom. It changed after you had your kid.
Yeah, I think we're closer now.
Yeah.
Only because like I get why she's so overbearing sometimes because I'm like, oh, Jackson.
Yeah.
But it's also like, calm down. I don't know. But it's nice too because Foodie. But my child's just like me, so I kind of see it both ways. Yeah, it's like hard headed. But that's my big help.
Is that him?
Yes.
Yeah. Say hi, Jackson.
Come here.
Hi.
Come on.
What is he doing?
He loves his mother. That's for sure.
Say hi. Hi.
He loves
Hi.
his mom.
Say, do it. Come on.
For mama.
You having fun?
Nice.
Is Grammy a lot? Or is Grammy fun?
Let's try
Is
this.
Grammy fun?
Yeah.
Don't push the issue. So if they're at that age where they're kind of like under the age of 21 or they don't have kids, don't push it too much. Let them be. Also call them out if they're being like crackhead tendencies, but like don't push it too much. If they seem distant, it's just the age. They'll come back eventually.
Mhm.
So just be there
Okay.
for to come back. Yeah.
What about with depression? When should a parent push if they feel like their kid's like really depressed?
Don't push it more because they already know that they're depressed. So if you do too much, then they feel even worse about themselves. But just like kind of bug them enough to where they like do at least one thing a week. Like, at least I would say
Yeah.
a family thing a week. So if they're in the setting, then they know,
Oh,
But just make sure they like any hobbies they had before. Kind of push the issue or find things that they like, or just like buy random things, that goes to that hobby. But don't push it too much because that puts them into like even. Then they know that like, oh, I suck, or like I'm in that state of mind.
Got it.
Does that make sense? Like you just don't want
Yep.
to like feel worse about them.
Don't push too hard and make them feel worse about themselves. Try
Yeah,
to be
just
the one
kind of
who
be like,
adds,
cool,
that
yeah.
adds a positivity to them versus
parents
making them
Find
more
a
depressed.
friend, but don't let
Yeah.
the friend know because I've had friends who have been depressed and I like told their parents like they need something. So like just kind of be there, but don't push the issue too much.
I have another really important question for
Mhm.
people that have teenage daughters growing up in middle school. I thought I was really
We had a good time in middle school.
But I knew what friends were bad friends. What are some good like clues that parents could look out for if
they're being pushed down?
not even if they're being like pushed to do something against with their morals and their ethics, how they've been taught. Like, what are signs that parents should look for in kids that shows that there is a real issue and are going down the wrong path?
So if they say somebody invited them to something and they don't want to go, like, oh, I said it's okay. Don't push them to go. Don't be like, you should go, it's fun. Like, just say, okay, well, let's find something else to do. Or if they just seem like, when a certain friend comes over and they just seem like not themselves, at least I would listen. Honestly, I'm nosy, so I would like listen in a little bit. Yeah. So we just see, but I just know some people just don't feel comfortable in their own skin, and like something's going on. But I feel like if you just tell them like little hints, like, oh, do you feel comfortable when somebody's coming around, or like, oh, that's just listen in on the conversation a little bit. Don't be overbearing about it. Just like because our kid, okay, so they have a Jack and Jill door. My son and my stepson. And I could hear on the other side of the door, they didn't notice like what was going on. So when one kid was like, "I'm gonna do this," and the other didn't, you kind of just listen in on that. Like, "Oh, why don't you do this?" But don't tell them because you don't want to nitpick at different things. You just want to let them know.
So it's that same theory: eyes in the back of your head.
And you can tell if you know your child, like if they're not uncomfortable, but if they seem like
they're struggling,
more reserved, or like, see, I'm like a easy like go with the flow type friend. And I just kind of go, but if I don't want to do anything, I'm not going to do it. And if they seem like they really don't want to, you can read your own child's face. So if they seem like they're not down, just like kind of tell me, oh, maybe we have to do this, or like kind of be a mean mom, like, oh, sorry, we have plans that day, so they don't have to do, they don't feel like they're to do it. Kind of be that person. I don't like people staying the night, so I'd be like, my mom said I couldn't stay the night, or I didn't want people to stay the night. And she's like, yeah, sorry, we can't tonight. So you have to like work your child about that way. So I think that's the easy way. And it's hard for kids, so I feel like if you're a cool parent and you know your child, and don't feel bad if you don't. So it's agreed both ways. So I think all of us girls are kind of very outspoken. So
well, you guys had a good support structure because you had me. If you don't want to talk to your mom, you had your cousin.
Exactly.
Your cousins. You had your sister.
And
you had your grandma.
Each other.
So it's not just the parents that are raising kids, it's actually a village, and that village has to be very supportive, right? And you might not go to your mom about some things, you may come to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's the same way too. So, and then once you tell one of them, all of us knew, so it was fine.
Oh, that was like a pet peeve, is that if something happened with her, I was already on the horn with Relay, giving her a heads up, and they'd be like, you never leave anything in our home or private. Yeah. But I was like, that's like my...
And then what's Relay doing?
Yeah.
Devin.
Yeah. But I feel like, it's also just depends. Even if it's like a one-child household, like as long as you like are friends with your, like, most of what's going on.
But some people think you shouldn't be friends with your kids. You should just be a parent. But you can be a parent and still be a friend.
You learn more when you're friends with your kid, honestly. If you're scared to come to them, that's hard. Like Jackson.
I think it's old school, like children to be seen, not heard. There's certain things. I think you need to be as this day and age with the way society is, you need to be as transparent and open as possible.
Fake social media pages and stuff. Like you want to know what's going on in your kids' life for sure. And if they feel comfortable with you, they'll tell you more.
Sophia made a fake page for Rocky.
Yeah, and but we always told you everything. Do you remember
I rode my bike over there?
Yeah.
Who is Sophia?
Well, we always told you.
When we lived in Bakersfield, a girl wrote a fake Facebook page, and it was very like extremely insulting. And so I hopped on the bike and I rode around a corner to her mom's house, and the kids were chasing me like, "Don't go over there! Don't go over there!" But I was like, "No, she's taking that page down today."
And like we told her like everything. But yeah, I feel like if you're friends with kids, you know more. I have friends who don't tell their parents anything, and they went off deep in. Like, like way too far, and their parents are still like, "Oh, it's fine," but like they can manipulate them easier as opposed to. Like,
I think it's okay at a certain age, up to a certain age, to go through your kids.
But you also
let me see your phone, let me see your texts, let me see your social media. But once they get old enough, I think you got to pull back. But I think early on, because you got to help. Social media is like a new skill set that you have to learn how to handle it and how to manage it. And I think it's okay for parents to be involved to teach. But there at some point, whether it's college or whatever, you got to trust your raising, right? You got to fall back and trust that you did the right thing and allow them to make mistakes. Because if you don't allow your kids to make any mistakes, then you're setting them up for failure in real life, because either when you pass away or they get into the working world, they're going to feel like if something doesn't go their way, that they're failures or something's wrong. So you have to allow them to stumble and fall and figure it out a little bit, and not always be there to rescue and lift them up, because too often parents try to come and just swoop you up because they don't want you to deal with anything. You got to let them fall and hurt.
Yeah, I think if you have that relationship with your kid, you should allow them to grow. You shouldn't, but when it gets to that age, you have to let them do things their own way and find a way.
Yes.
And just know that we know right from wrong. Just know that.
Didn't I do that?
No, you pushed
No.
too hard. And I was like, I'm doing everything an 18-year-old child would do, but you are so used to being involved that you're like not letting me just. That's why I pushed you harder. So I was like, she really thinks I'm already doing this, so I'm just gonna go harder because it's annoying. Like, you're out partying. I'm 18. That's what we do. Yeah, but yeah, no, friendship.
Well, thanks for being so open.
Yeah, it's fine. I have a child now. I'm good. I live in my place.
Appreciate it. Wait, is there any other topics you think that we should discuss on our show in the future?
I don't know. That was a good one.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Just getting your opinion.
And knowing kids right from wrong. Because I have friends who like went off deep and went on drugs and stuff, and I was not about that life. Because you taught me right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to tell her, get in the camera. Stage, Mom.
But yeah. Maybe filters. Teach your children filters because we don't have any.
Oh my God, you guys are the worst.
I should probably teach my children the same things. I don't.
Yeah, but anyway, well, thank you, babe.
Welcome.
Thank you, Dev, for coming and sharing.
Hold on. Thank you for listening. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. If there's any additional topics you want us to cover, please add them in the comments.
Yes, please do.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.